Hello, friends. Welcome. My name is Drew, and this is a strong flow class designed to help alleviate anxiety. Now, throughout class, you're going to be guided to either scale up certain poses or scale them back, depending on your needs, to make them either harder or to make them a little bit easier and more accessible. What's really important, and I want you to keep this in mind throughout the entirety of class and truly for any class that you take with me, but especially for this one where our focus is on reducing anxiety, please maintain a slow and controlled breath throughout class. The moment we lose control of our breath, our sympathetic nervous system starts to fire up, sending us back into that fight or flight mode, bringing our anxiety right back online. When we control our breath and move mindfully, we're able to help regulate our nervous system so that we can reduce the anxiety, help us feel a little more at ease, calm, collected, and focused. All right. So if you ever find yourself scaling up a pose and you come into it and you start to lose control of your breath because maybe it's just a little bit too hard, please do scale back to a point where you can control your breath. Otherwise, you're going to lose the benefits of this practice. For class, all you're going to need is a bolster, a block, and a blanket if you have them. If you don't worry. You can always do it without. It's just nice to have them if you do. Whenever you're ready, I'll see you back here on the mat. All right, friends, we're going to begin in child's pose. So go ahead and make your way down onto your mat. If you'd like, if you have sensitive knees like me, grab a blanket and go and place them underneath. You could also use a spare mat or, even a cushion if you have it. Bring your knees out wide. Let your big toes come together slightly to touch. Sink your hips low and stretch your hands down the mat in front of you, letting your forehead come down to rest. Right away, let your eyes close. Start to control your breath with that. We call it ujjayi breathing. It's where you slightly constrict your throat, making your breath a little more audible. It's going to slow down your inhales and your exhales, which may sound counterintuitive once we start moving quickly, but using ujjayi in a really intense asana practice actually helps you to get more oxygen in with each breath. So see if you can't maintain this pattern of breathing throughout class. We're here for about 3 more breaths. If you'd like to get a little shoulder opening, you can bend your elbows, bring your hands together, let your thumbs rest at the nape of your neck. You may need to walk your elbows in a little closer to your head or down the mat in front of you if you take this variation. I'm going to take one more slow, controlled breath here. And then whenever you're ready, lower your hands down to the mat if they're lifted. Start to press your torso up and make your way into a tabletop position. You're going to stack your shoulders above your wrists and your hips above your knees. If you're someone who's really prone to having tight arches in your feet, you might consider tucking your toes under here and just kind of pedaling out your feet to help stretch out those arches before we move into some standing poses. And then from your tabletop, we're going to start to move into cat and cow. And we're going to take this at the pace of your breath. So on an inhale, your belly drops, tailbone, head, and chest lift. Exhale, you curl in, tuck your chin to your chest, tailbone tucks under, center of your back presses up towards the ceiling. Inhale, we lift right back up. Exhale, we curl in. Keep moving like this at the pace of your breath. Maybe close your eyes. Try to bring your attention inward. Try to notice anywhere in your body you might still be holding tension. And if you'd like, you could find some side stretches, maybe pushing one hip over and then the other. You might even find some barrel rolls, just making big circles with your hips. If you do take this version, make sure you go both directions. We've got about 3 more breaths in total to find any movement that feels really good in your body. All right, we're going to begin our flow. If they're not already, go and tuck your toes under. Take a big inhale here. And on an exhale, send your hips high. Downward facing dog is where we're headed. Once you make it to your down dog, start to pedal out your feet, kind of actively sending one heel to the mat and then the other. Spread all 10 fingers and all 10 toes wide on the mat. Working to bring your head and chest through your arms. You might shake your head yes and no a couple times. We're here for a couple more breaths. Find any movement that feels really good. Try to press down into the first knuckle of your hand just to help bring your palm flat on the mat. This is also going to help protect your wrist. And then we're going to begin to move between high plank and downward dog just to help warm up. When you're ready, on an inhale, come forward to a high plank, bringing your shoulders right above your wrists. Feet should be about hips width distance apart. We're holding here for 3 breaths. Press your heels towards the back of your mat. Tuck your tailbone, contract your core. Slightly squeeze your shoulder blades to expand across your chest. And gaze up between your hands or towards the top of your mat. Here for one more full breath. Take another big inhale. And exhale, send your hips high, maybe taking some weight out of your feet, and then sink your heels low for downward dog. Inhale, come forward, high plank. And exhale, send your hips right back up, downward dog. Inhale to high plank. Exhale, downward dog. You've got 2 more just like that. Take them at your pace. Inhale brings you forward to a high plank. Exhale, we push our hips high and then sink our heels low. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. All right, great work. Shake your head yes and no a couple times. Maybe pedal out your feet if that would feel good. And then whenever you're ready, start to walk to the top of your mat, bringing your feet to meet your hands. Once you make it to the top of your mat, bring your feet to hips width distance apart. On an inhale, lift up halfway, find some length. Exhale, fold forward. On your next inhale, slowly rise all the way to standing, sweeping your arms out wide, hands come to meet overhead. Exhale, cactus your arms, keep your tailbone tucked and chest lifted as your elbows come down. Then inhale, reach high. Exhale, cactus. One more time, inhale, reach up. And exhale, cactus. Now go ahead and step out just a little bit wider on your mat. I'm going to turn to face the camera. Going just a little bit wider than hips width distance, not too wide though, and get really buoyant in your knees. We're going to do a sweeping arm breath. It's going to look like this. Let me demo it and then we'll do it all together. So on an inhale, you'll reach your arms high. Then on your exhale, you let it out really forcefully as your hands come down and back. And then we inhale back up, exhale. All right, I'm going to do this all together. We're going to just do 3 rounds of it, and then we'll continue on with our flow. So when you're ready, inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, let it go. One more time, inhale. Exhale. Inhale up. Now exhale, hands to the center of your chest. Let your eyes close. Samastitihi. Maybe roll your shoulders up towards your ears, then down and back. Next, inhale, sweep your arms out wide. Hands come to meet overhead. And exhale, wide arm forward fold. Really reach out as your hands come down to the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway, find some length. Exhale, fold forward. Now root down into your left foot. And then inhale, your right leg lifts up for standing L. Hold here just for a moment. Level off your hips. Bring your right hip down in line with the left. Try to have little to no weight in your fingers. They're just kind of here as balancing points. Take one more big inhale. And exhale, gently step your right foot to the back of your mat. We're headed into a half crescent lunge. This is where if you like something under your knees, you can grab it, place it right underneath. When you're ready, so your back knee comes down to the mat. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Really work to bring your pelvis straight up and down rather than letting it tilt forward like it's going to want to do. Your pelvis straight up and down, you'll get a bigger stretch here in your right hip. Inhale, reach a little bit higher. Exhale, cactus. Maybe lunge a little deeper if you can. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, bring your hands down to the center of your chest. We're headed into a spinal twist. So you're going to bring your right elbow to the top of your left knee. Press down with your top hand into your bottom hand to help deepen your twist. You can let your gaze slowly start to turn up towards the ceiling, or if that's too much for your balance, maybe just keep your gaze down towards the ground. Here for a couple more slow, deep breaths. One more inhale. Exhale, let something go. Inhale, bring your hands back up to center. Then exhale, let your hands come to the mat for half split, straightening your front leg and flexing your front foot. Inhale, rise up just a little bit to find some length in your spine. Then exhale, fold forward over your front leg. Try to maintain that length as you come down. All right. On your next inhale, lean forward, coming back towards your low lunge. Your back knee will step up off the mat. Inhale, lean forward a little further. And then exhale, step up to a forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, lift up halfway, find some length. Then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep your arms out wide, rise all the way up to standing once again. Exhale, cactus your arms. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, hands to the center of your chest, samastitihi. Let your eyes close, roll your shoulders up towards your ears, then down and back. Go ahead and step out wide once again, headed into that sweeping arm breath. Feet should be just a little bit wider than hips width distance. Really buoyant in your knees. On an inhale, reach high. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, lift up. Then exhale, let it go. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, samastiti once again. Let your eyes close. Roll your shoulders up towards your ears, then down and back. Next inhale, sweep your hands out wide, coming to meet overhead. Exhale, wide arm forward fold. Really reach out as your hands come down to the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway, find some length. Exhale, fold forward. Now root down into your right foot. Inhale, your left leg lifts up, standing out. Be really strong in your left leg once again. Level off your hips, bring that left hip down in line with the right. One more inhale here. And exhale, gently set your left foot down to the back of your space. Back knee sets down to the mat. Inhale, rise up, half crescent lunge. Inhale, reach a little higher. Exhale, cactus your arms, maybe lunge a little deeper. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, hands come down to the center of your chest. Right away, we're headed into the twist, so bring your left elbow to the top of your right knee. Start to press your top hand down into the bottom hand. Help deepen your twist. Maybe your gaze starts to turn up towards the ceiling, or you can keep it down towards the mat. Couple slow, steady breaths here. One more inhale. Exhale, let something go. Inhale, bring your hands back up to center. And exhale, straighten your front leg, flex your front foot for half splits. Inhale, rise up halfway, find some length. Then exhale, fold forward over your front leg. Try to maintain that length. Couple more slow, deep breaths here. And on your next inhale, lean forward. Lift your back knee up off the mat, plant your hands, and on an inhale, step back to a high plank. Option here always to come down to table anytime we're in high plank. If it's feeling like it's too much, you're getting shaky, or you're losing control of your breath, just pop your knees down to the mat for table. It's totally fine. High plank, we're here for another full round of breath. Take another inhale. And exhale, lower all the way to the mat, keeping your elbows in close to your sides. Untuck your toes. Inhale, lift your head and chest, squeeze your shoulder blades. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift your head and chest once again. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, lift up, hold here. Really press your hips into the mat. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Maybe take the weight out of your hands. Keep your chin tucked towards your chest slightly. Keep breathing. One more inhale. And exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes under. Inhale, push up to table or high plank. Exhale, downward dog. Hips go high. Pedal out your knees and shake your head yes and no. Couple slow, deep breaths here. I'm going to move through a similar sequence and adding on just a few more poses. So when you're ready, slowly begin to walk to the top of your mat, bringing your feet to meet your hands. Maybe you do so without bending your knees, just kind of lifting one hip and then the other. Once you make it to the top of your space, feet or hips width distance. Inhale, lift up halfway, find some length. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep your arms out wide, rise all the way up to standing. Exhale, cactus your arms. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, samastitihi, hands to the center of your chest. Let your eyes close. Roll your shoulders down and back. Root your feet into the mat. All right, next inhale. Sweep your hands out wide. Hands come to meet overhead. Exhale, forward. Fold hands pass through the center of your chest. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, fold forward. Root down into your left foot. Inhale, your right leg lifts up, standing up. Hold here for 2 breaths. Level off your hips. Think about pressing the ground away with your left foot. One more inhale. Then exhale, gently set your right foot down to the back of your space. Inhale, rise up to crescent lunge. So keeping your knee off the mat. Bring your pelvis straight up and down once again. Focus your gaze on a point straight out in front of you. That's going to help with balance. Keep your breath slow and steady. Inhale, reach a little higher. Exhale, cactus your arms. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, hands to the center of your chest. Now inhale, lean forward. Exhale, gentle twist. Bring your right elbow to the top of your left knee. Keep your back leg straight so you have even effort in both legs. Then press your top hand down into the bottom to help deepen your twist. You have the option to stay here, or if you'd like to go a little deeper, you might start to extend your left arm straight up and your right hand down towards the floor. Maybe your gaze turns up towards the ceiling. Again, remember, keep your breath slow and controlled. One more full breath here. If your hands are apart, go and bring them back together. On your next inhale, rise back up to center. Take a moment, recenter. Then inhale, lean forward once again. Exhale, single leg mountain, right knee comes up to hip height. Hold here. Focus your gaze again. Take a big inhale. Exhale, single standing L. Bring your hands to the mat. Right leg lifts high. One more full breath here. Inhale again. Then exhale, gently step your right foot back. This time we're setting up for warrior two. So your back heel comes down so that the pinky toe edge of your back foot is parallel with the back edge of your mat. Inhale, cartwheel your hands up. Sink low into your front knee. We're working towards 90 degrees if possible. Ideally, we want the front heel to be in line with the arch for back foot. Inhale to dancing warrior. Straighten your front leg. Reach your arms high. Exhale, warrior two. Now inhale, reach forward to the top of your mat. Exhale, extended side angle. Right arm reaches up and overhead. Left forearm comes down to the top thigh. Feel free to also go up a notch by bringing your left hand down towards the mat. You need to fire up your core just a little bit more. Or if you'd like to go a little bit further, both hands reach forward. If you take this variation and you're having a hard time breathing, bring your forearm down to your thigh. Most important that we maintain control of our breath. Next, inhale, reverse triangle, straighten your front leg. Reach your left hand up and back. Keep your tailbone tucked, chest lifted. Next, inhale, five-pointed star. Pivot your back foot out so both heels come in towards midline. And then exhale, sink low into temple. Send your knees out wide. Keep your head and chest lifted. Inhale, sweep your arms out wide. Hands come to meet overhead. Keep your knees bent. Exhale, hands pass down through the center of your chest. Two more times, just like that. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, five-pointed star. Pivot your heels out so that the pinky toe edge of your feet are parallel with the ends of your mat. And on your next exhale, wide leg forward fold. Bring your hands to the mat. Send your hips high. Maybe shake your head yes and no a couple times. Want to keep just a micro bend in your knees. Maybe you start to find some side-to-side movement, kind of bending one knee and then the other. And then think about pressing your hands down and forward into the mat just to help lift your hips a little higher, bring your torso a little lower. Next, inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, pivot to the top of your mat to a low lunge. Plant your hands. On an inhale, step back to a high plank. Exhale, lower all the way down to your mat. Keep your elbows in close to your sides. Bring your hands down by your sides, palm face down. Next inhale, lift your head and chest and your arms. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, lower. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes under. Inhale, push up to a high plank. Exhale to downward dog. Hips go high. Pedal out your knees. Shake your head yes and no. We're going to slowly move to the next side. When you're ready, start to walk to the top of your mat. Once you make it to the top of your space, inhale, lift up halfway, find some length. Exhale, fold forward. Next, inhale, slowly rise all the way up to standing, sweeping your hands out wide. Exhale, cactus your arms. Inhale, reach high. Then exhale, fold forward. Hands pass through the center of your chest. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Now root down into your right foot. Inhale, your left leg goes high, standing L. Just a couple breaths here. Try to keep lifting your torso. Maintain a slow and controlled breath. One more inhale. Then exhale, gently step your left foot down to the back of your space, heading up for your crescent lunge. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Focus your gaze on a point straight out in front of you. Bring your hips and your pelvis, straight up and down. Inhale, reach just a little bit higher. Exhale, cactus your arms. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, bring your hands down through the center of your chest. Then inhale, lean forward. Exhale, gentle twist. Bring your left elbow to the top of your right knee. Straighten your back leg and try to have even weight or even effort in both legs. Then press your top hand down into the bottom to deepen your twist. Remember, you always have the option to open your arms, reaching your right hand high, left hand down towards the mat. One more inhale. And exhale, close your hands if they're open. Inhale, bring your hands back up to center. Take a full breath here to reset, focusing your gaze on a point straight out in front of you. Then inhale, lean forward. Exhale, single leg mountain. Left knee comes up to hip height. Again, keeping your gaze focused on one point. Inhale again. Then exhale, standing L. Hands come to the mat as you kick your left leg straight back behind you. Inhale, lift your torso. Exhale, gently set your left foot down to the back of your mat, setting up for warrior two. Inhale, cartwheel your hands up. Exhale, sink low. Inhale, dancing warrior. Straighten your front leg, reach your arms high. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reach forward to the top of your space. Exhale, extended side angle. Left arm reaches up and overhead. Right forearm comes down to the top of your thigh, to the inside of your thigh, or maybe both arms reach up and forward. Find the version that works best for you. We're here for one more full breath. And inhale, reverse triangle, straighten your front leg, reach your right arm up and back. One more full breath here. Then inhale, 5-pointed star. Pivot your back toes out so both heels come in towards midline. Then on an exhale, sink your hips low, temple pose. Keep your head and chest lifted, knees pushing out wide. Next inhale, sweep your hands out wide, coming to meet overhead. Exhale, hands pass through the center of your chest. Keep your knees bent the entire time. Inhale, arms sweep out and up. Exhale, hands pass through the center of your chest. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Pivot your heels out so the pinky toe edge of your feet are parallel with the ends of your mat. On your exhale, wide leg forward fold. Hands to the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway, find some length. Press the crown of your head forward. Then exhale, fold forward. Shake your head yes and no. Maybe move side to side. And then make your way back to center. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, bring your right hand over to your left foot. Let your head rest into your bicep. Maybe your right knee starts to bend. Couple slow, deep breaths here. On your next inhale, make your way back to center. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, find some length. Exhale, this time your left hand comes to your right foot. Head rests into your bicep. Maybe your left knee starts to bend. Next, inhale, make your way back up to center. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway once again. And then exhale, pivot to the top of your mat to a low lunge. Plant your hands. Inhale, step back to a high plank. Here for 3 breaths. Try to bring your gaze up towards the top of your mat. Keep your breath slow and controlled. One more inhale here. Exhale, lower all the way to the mat. Keep your elbows in. Untuck your toes. Inhale, lift your head and chest. Press your hips into the mat. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, lower. Tuck your toes. Inhale, push up to table or high plank. Exhale, downward dog. Pedal out your knees. Shake your head yes and no. We are going to start cooling things down, friends. We're headed into pigeon pose from here. So on your next inhale, raise your left leg high. Exhale, bring your left knee down to the mat outside of your left wrist. Setting up for pigeon. You're going to untuck your back toes. Bring your hands out wide. This is where, if you'd like, you could grab your bolster, place it right here in front of your torso so that you can lay down onto it. You could also grab a block and use that just to support your head if you don't need a bolster. Before we head down to the mat or to a bolster or block, inhale, lift your head and chest. Then exhale, fold forward. We're going to pulse here just a couple times. Inhale, lift right back up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up. Now exhale, come all the way down to sleeping pigeon. So grabbing your bolster, block, whatever you need. You could even just stack your hands. Just make sure you support your head in some way. If we don't have our head supported, chances are high that we're going to begin to build tension in the back of your neck and shoulders, which then makes it very difficult for your hips to open up. And if our goal with this class is to reduce anxiety, we really want to pay special attention to our hips, as it's one of the main areas in our body where we hold stress and anxiety. This is one of the places that gets tight first and tends to stay tight. It becomes very difficult to alleviate the tension that we hold in our hips until we get into big hip openers like this. Try to use your breath here. Scan your body. Anywhere you notice you're holding tension, try to send a breath to that spot. Imagining on your inhale, you're creating space in that area. And on your exhale, you're sinking down into that space, allowing those muscles and connective tissue to smooth out, open up, and relax down. Three more slow, deep breaths here. All right, when you're ready, on an inhale, start to press your hands into the mat to lift your torso. You can move any props out of the way that you might have been using. You're just going to roll onto your left hip gently and swing your right leg around. Keep your left foot to the inside of your right leg and then bring your left hand down to the mat back behind you. On an inhale, sweep your right arm kind of along the horizon as you press your hips up. Reach up and back with your right hand. Engage both glutes to help lift your hips a little higher. One more full breath here. Inhale again. Then exhale, lower your hips to the mat. Now we're headed into a seated spinal twist. For this, you're going to bring your left ankle towards your right hip. Don't worry if it doesn't make it all the way there. And then you're just going to cross your right ankle over your left knee. Do your best to have even weight in both sits bones. So be able to sit up nice and tall, feeling level in both sits bones. On an inhale, reach your hands high. Exhale, your right hand comes down to the mat back behind you. Left elbow comes to the inside of your right thigh. Sit up nice and tall. Try to avoid slouching here. If bringing your left elbow to the inside of your thigh is not accessible, you can always reach your left hand around your knee and twist this way. With each exhale, see if you can't twist just a little bit deeper, knowing that your inhales are going to naturally bring you out of the twist a little bit. Next inhale, make your way back to center. Exhale, very gentle counter twist to the left. Inhale, make your way to center. And then when you're ready, just make your way to a downward dog. I like to just kind of cross my ankles, plant my hands in front of me, lift my hips and step back. But if that doesn't work for you, find your way to down dog in whatever way works best. Pedal out your knees, shake your head yes and no. Try to bring some blood flow back into your left leg. And we're going to head into pigeon on the other side. So when you're ready, inhale, your right leg lifts high. Exhale, bring your right knee down to the mat outside your right wrist. You're going to bring your back knee down and untuck your back toes. Hands come out wide. You might grab your bolster or your block, placing it right in front of your torso once again. And bring your hands out wide, coming up onto the tips of your fingers. Inhale, lift your torso. Find some length. Press the crown of your head towards the ceiling. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift right back up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, come all the way down to sleeping pigeon. Again, supporting your head on a block bolster or stacking your hands, whatever works best for you. And start to scan your body once again, maybe letting your eyes close. Try to be mindful of anywhere you're holding tension. Send a slow, deep breath to each area that needs to loosen up. If you've lost it, maybe try bringing back in that ujjayi breath, the oceanic breath, by slightly constricting your throat, which will slow down your inhale and exhale, make your breath a little more audible. Not only does this allow for more oxygen to be absorbed by our body with each breath, but it actually helps to stimulate the vagus nerve, which is kind of the main driver of our parasympathetic nervous system, which is the part of our central nervous system that is responsible for rest, digestion, regeneration. It's what we want to stimulate when we're feeling anxious or highly stimulated to help calm us down. All right, a couple more slow, deep breaths here. And then when you're ready, start to press your hands into the mat, lift your torso up, roll onto your right hip and swing your left leg around, keeping your right foot to the inside of your left leg. Bring your right hand down to the mat back behind you. And on an inhale, sweep your left hand kind of along the horizon as you press your hips up, reaching up and back with your left hand. Take one more inhale here. And exhale, lower your hips down to the mat. We're headed into a seated spinal twist once again, so bring your right ankle back towards your left hip. Don't worry if it doesn't make it all the way there. And then cross your left ankle over your right knee. Kind of adjust yourself so that you can have even weight in both sits bones. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, gentle twist to your left. Left hand comes to the mat back behind you, right elbow to the inside of your left thigh. Or your right arm can reach around as you twist. Couple more slow, deep breaths here. With each exhale, try to twist just a little deeper. And then on your next inhale, make your way back to center. Exhale, very gentle twist to the right. Inhale, make your way back to center. And then on an exhale, straighten your legs. Give them a nice shake. Just try to bring some blood flow back into your legs. We're headed down onto our backs. If you have a bolster, go ahead and grab it. We are headed into Supta Baddha Konasana, and it's nice to use a bolster for this one. Kind of two ways you can use your bolster. We're going to be laying back onto it, and you really want the bolster to support your spine. So you can either keep your hips on the floor and then lean back, or if that's painful on your lower back, you can sit up on your bolster and then lay back. Just make sure you have something to support your head if you take this variation like a block. All right. So find the version that works best for you. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees come out wide, and then lay back onto your bolster. You can always use blocks underneath your knees here if you have really tight hips. It can be really helpful in keeping them supported and not screaming at you the entire time we're here. And bring your hands down by your sides, palm face up. The higher up your hands go, the more chest expansion you're going to get. Just don't go so high that you have to then engage your shoulders to keep your hands placed there. You want to be able to completely relax your arms. And let your eyes close. I want you to think about creating a wave-like pattern of breath in your body where your inhales originate by your belly button. Breath expands up into your chest. Exhale, your belly falls first. Pulls everything else down with it. And we're here for 3 more breaths. All right, start to bring your hands down by your sides. You're going to help close your knees almost like you were closing a book. And then just roll off your bolster to one side. And then kind of move your bolster out from underneath you. Coming down onto your back. Once you make it to your back, I'm going to take a full body stretch. Reach your arms up overhead. Maybe take some wrist circles and ankle circles. And then let your hands come down to rest by your sides. We're headed into Shavasana. Maybe keep your palms face up if that is comfortable. If it's not, let your palms be face down, or bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your chest so that you can continue on with that wave-like pattern of breath. Having your hands placed here is going to help you kind of maintain that pattern. We're going to be in Shavasana for about 5 minutes. Feel free to pause the video and stay a little longer if you like. Otherwise, stick with me and I'll call you out when you're ready. As you rest in Shavasana, if you notice your mind start to wander, or maybe start to feel some anxiety coming back in, try to do your best to not judge yourself for having those thoughts or feelings. Instead, see if you can't just become an observer of those thoughts, separating yourself from the thought and just witnessing them happening. And then, without judgment, once the thought has been had, try to guide your attention back to your breath. And that wave-like pattern with each inhale creates space in your body. Each exhale, sink down into that space. Start to bring your attention back into your room, maybe finding some movement in your fingers and toes. Might deepen your breath. If you'd like to take a full body stretch, it's there for you if you'd like it. You might roll over to one side, kind of curling up into a fetal position, just for a couple breaths before making your way up to a comfortable seat. And then once you're seated, just take a moment before we seal your practice in. Know you're not bowing to me or anything external, but to yourself and the work you did on your mat today. Thanks so much for joining, everyone. I'll catch you next time.